And here we go with the TVA toe taps. So you're going to lie down on your back, bend your knees and come into, start with constructive rest pose, which just means that the feet are a little wider than hips distance, so the knees can drop in toward each other and rest against each other. It's a very relaxing pose. Releasing the low back. And just take a moment to make a windshield wiper motion with your legs, letting both knees drop over to the right, and breathing into the front of that left hip, way down deep into that left hip. Inhaling the knees up toward the ceiling and exhaling the knees over to the left, and then breathing all the way down into those right hip flexors, and then inhaling the legs up. Bring the feet in so that they're about hips distance apart, and then bring the feet up so that your shins are parallel to the ground. You can place your hands lightly behind your head, and you can either keep your head on the floor, or you can exhale to lift your head and your neck up off the floor. So you're not pushing your head forward with your hands. Your hands are just resting at the back of your head lightly. And then we're going to just take turns touching the right toe tips down onto the floor, and then bringing the right leg back up so that the shins parallel to the floor, and then exhaling to touch the left toe tips down onto the floor, and then inhaling to bring those legs up. And we're just gonna kind of walk our feet out. So just bringing the right toe tips out a little bit farther. As we do these movements, try to keep your lower abdomen from doming out and keep it drawn in. So cinching in the waist, bringing that right leg back up, and then extending the left toe tips out, just a little bit farther out than before, and then bringing them back in. And then you're going to reach those right toe tips out on an exhale, just a little bit further, keeping the abdominals drawn in and the pelvic floor drawn in. And then inhaling, bringing that foot up. If your neck feels strange, you can lower your head down onto the floor. And then bringing the left foot out just a little bit further than the last time. And if this strains your lower back, then don't reach your feet out as far. And then you can, if your lower back feels strong, you can reach that right foot out even further, almost to the point where it's straight, and then reach it back in. And then the same with the left foot. If this causes any strain in the low back, you can just keep the movements small. Just keep the movements in closer. And you can even bring your knees in closer if you'd like. And then this time, just bring the right foot out so that it's like a piston. Your right foot is off the floor and it's reaching straight out away from you. And then bring it back in. And then reach the left foot out like a piston, straight out and off the floor. And then bring it back in to the starting position. And then we'll do this a few more times, reaching the right leg out like a piston, keeping the belly strong. Inhaling it back in. And the left leg out straight like a piston. And bringing it back in. 2 more times. Left leg out. And then bringing it back in. Right leg out. Oops, I said the wrong leg. You know what I'm talking about. And last time, reaching right leg out, bringing it back in, and left leg out, bringing it back in. And then lower the feet down to your mat and switch your legs the other way, starting left side, bringing the knees to the left, breathing into the front of that right hip. You can lower your arms down to your sides or wherever they feel comfortable. Inhaling the knees up, and then exhaling the knees over to the right, breathing into the left hip flexors. And then bringing the knees back up. Now let's take a few bridge poses. So we've worked the front of the container, waking up the energies that help ground us and draw the energies of our body down and out through the base of the body. Let's work the back side a little bit with bridge. It's a familiar posture. And we're going to try to keep everything nice and strong. So I'd first like you to draw your attention to the pelvic floor, drawing that in and up, so the very base of your torso. And then cinching in between the two hip points in the low belly, drawing this area in. And then pressing down into the floor and engaging the inner thigh muscles and the outer thigh muscles, just without moving, just isometrically engaging them, just with your intentions, with your mind. You can come to robot arms so that your elbows are bent at 90 degrees and your fingers are nice and strong and pointed up toward the ceiling. And then as you inhale, press down into the floor, press down into your elbows, and lift your hips slowly up off the floor, curling your hips up off the floor, curling your low spine up the floor. It doesn't have to be your highest bridge in your whole life. Just a little bit of lift is fine, but what you really want to focus on is keeping the thighs engaged, keeping the legs strong, so that you're not making a fist with your glutes, so that you're not overworking any area, but you're trying to spread the effort out through your legs. You're keeping the pelvic floor drawing in, and you're keeping the lower abdominals engaged. And you're keeping your gaze straight up toward the ceiling, or actually keeping the gaze soft and on the tip of your nose. And you're breathing. You're breathing that diaphragmatic, steady, grounding breath we worked on at the beginning. And wherever you are, take a last breath in. And wherever it comes as you exhale, lowering your spine down one vertebra or one section at a time, aiming toward one vertebra at a time, until your pelvis hits the floor. And then go ahead and draw your knees in, hugging the knees, and you can make circles with the knees to the right and then the left, winding the practice down for the day. This may not be your final practice for the day. This may be your warm-up to other practices. But for now, we're winding down. We're giving ourselves permission to come into a rest. Let's take one last pose before the final pose. Happy baby. So loop your hands through your legs. Take hold of the outside of the feet, or take hold of your feet any way you like. And then you can rock on your spine from side to side. Rock the baby. And then, actually, I'll revise and say, I just feel like taking one more posture. So if you'd like to join me, take hold of your big toes with your peace finger hands and your thumb and extend your feet out wide. Just get a nice stretch. Stretching out this area that we were just engaging. Releasing the engagement in the low belly and the pelvic floor and the inner thighs. And then inhaling the legs back together wherever you are, and then you draw your knees in and extend your legs out and come into Shavasana. So letting the shovin relax, letting the body relax onto the floor. If this pose for any reason is not relaxing to you, if this is in any way not your favorite pose, then just come onto your side and I'm going to give you a few more options. So one of my favorite poses, and a really wonderful relaxing pose, is Makarasana crocodile pose. So you're going to fold your arms, place your forehead on your hands or on the meaty part of your forearm, and then just place your belly down onto the floor. Whoops, that was my mat slipping. My knee slipping on my mat. And place your forehead on your arms. And then you can just let your feet fall out open to the sides or in. It doesn't really matter what your feet do, but you do want to keep your legs a little bit wide so that you can really relax and make contact with the floor. And this is a beautiful way to strengthen the diaphragm and breathe diaphragmatically with no effort, with no conscious effort. Because with the upper torso grounded this way and immobilized with the arms overhead, you just naturally breathe with the diaphragm. And the floor provides a natural resistance to the diaphragm, so you're strengthening the diaphragm as you breathe. But I understand this pose is also not everyone's cup of tea, so you can just find whatever pose you like. You can come into child's pose, or you can just come to seated. And we're just going to take a few moments, whichever pose feels most relaxing to you, and breathe whatever way comes natural to you, and release the practice as we integrate the benefits of the practice for today. And as I was saying before, yoga doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be about struggling and striving and efforting. In fact, things tend to work best when we don't struggle, strive, and effort. When we do just stay calm and together, when we stay grounded, when we connect with our own inner strength, our own inner resources, because we have the ability to stay grounded no matter what happens. No matter what happens. Our bodies are designed to help us stay grounded and connected with the earth, and our souls also continue beyond the body. So there's really no way anyone can truly harm us. We are eternal beings. And the universe has our backs. The universe is us and we are the universe. So of course, we just need to remember that. We just need to remember that. So we are loved and we are loved. There's no need to struggle or strive or fight or flee. And everything that arises is here for us, for our benefit. So wherever you are, whichever posture you've chosen, you can just stay in it if you have uh, the time and the inclination. Or if you'd like to join me in a seated position, you can gradually, slowly do so. If you're lying down, you can start by just waking up the fingers and the toes, twinkling them, and then rolling the ankles and the wrists, gradually making larger movements. Come to lying on one side, letting the earth support you, and then letting your hands help you to lift back up with as little effort as possible to seated if you're not already seated. And whenever you come to seated, press your palms together at your heart center. Take a moment to feel grateful as a that was actually a pileated woodpecker, I believe, just flew overhead, which is auspicious. Press your palms together. Be grateful for all the abundance that's available to us to support us on this beautiful planet and to help us stay grounded no matter whatever arises, no matter what arises, I should say. And I do honor the light within you. And I thank you for joining me for this practice today. Namaste. Bye bye.